Welcome, everybody, to episode 43 of PT Shop Talk. On today's episode, we talk about our most rewarding patient care experiences, as well as our top 5 revisited pump up motivational songs. See if things change, see if we have different perspective on things. Today with me, as always, is Nick. Let's get physical, Doling, and Jeremy Jazzercise Van Klompenberg. Froze up there. Froze up.
You're struggling.
Neither made my list. Neither.
3 weeks. 3 weeks in a row. I gotta get back to those.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
We don't do those anymore, but
no. Yeah. Maybe someday we'll do an ultra episode again.
We'll dust it off. We'll just do a whole episode on top. Make it a top 10, top 15s.
Oh man, we could do just people would prefer if we just did a list episode.
Maybe we'll have to consider maybe for the holidays.
Oh, a holiday list episode
as a gift to our loyal listener.
100 top 100.
Oof.
By that math, that's going to be over a year away, buddy. That might be next.
We're going to need time to prepare.
So we are at 43. That's 57 away. Add 5 more weeks to now. Hey, that does put us in the holiday season 2023.
So you're saying for our 100th episode, we'll do a top 100 on something?
Yeah.
Oof. Block out a whole day.
Yeah. All right. We'll see it.
6-hour pod.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. With these holidays coming up, guys, the turkey cost is real. I don't know. Do you guys cook? You guys cook for the holidays? Whew, I just got out of the grocery store. $160 for this meal. My turkey was $60.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Turkey and chicken was usually turkey and chicken, aside from wings, were like the meats that were somewhat immune to all this skyrocketing.
$2.50 a pound on that.
What?
Bird.
Man.
Jeez.
Highway robbery.
It's usually like they're trying to give them away at like 7.
Yeah, it's like 55 cents a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked. So yeah, hopefully the family loves the meal this year because it's dipping into daddy's pocket.
Better not screw it up.
Yeah.
I'm an old pressure. I've been doing Thanksgiving meals for 20 years probably. So
how do you prepare that turkey bird?
I actually started probably about 5 years cooking them upside down.
All the pros do.
Yeah, that's
pros do.
Oven?
Yep. Throw her in the oven. I'm pretty traditional that way. Little orange, little lemon diced up in the inside with a little onion and
citrusy.
Yep. Seems like it loosens her up a little bit, tenderizes her, and then you flip her upside down so that the dark meat marinades the white meat.
I follow the logic. Yeah.
The bird looks ugly. Like if you're the kind of dude that has to like present it at the table while you carve it, that's kind of a garbage way to cook it upside down then, because it's going to be just a mush
waste of
falls
time.
Apart.
Egos. That's just about egos.
Yeah. But if you're pulling that sucker out of the oven,
falling off the bone,
her up, that's the way to do it, man. I cover the outside with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, paprika.
I like that.
I cook her tented for most of the time, but then I throw that tent off at the end to crisp the skin up a little bit.
Yep.
You said you weren't a show guy.
Well, that's only for me. The show's for me.
Of course he was, Jeremy. He always was.
We knew it. Classic Casey.
I used to stuff the bird, but I quit that because the news makes it sound like you're a criminal nowadays if you stuff your turkey.
Oh, come on.
No.
Your whole family's going to die of salmonella.
Well, Jeremy, how about you? Do you fancy yourself the turkey man?
Yeah, usually I am the one that cooks it. So very, very similar. Pretty bland on the spices. No citrus. Paprika, salt, pepper, a lot of butter. Get a little butter under the skin.
Smart.
I'll even put like an extra pound. I'll just like cut little butter pads and stick them in there. But then lots of butter.
Where'd you get that from?
Maybe I'm under buttering.
The butter?
Did we talk about that sometime?
Very well could have.
mentor in life,
can't-
therapy, and turkeys. Damn it, Nick.
No,
Golding.
no,
I
I-
didn't know you had so much to give. That's
Well,
unbelievable.
Do you want? Well, I'll let Jeremy finish, and then I can
Yeah.
spend the next 45 minutes explaining my
Talking
process.
turkey. Okay.
No, but then I cook it upside down as well.
Really? I
Yeah,
have not heard.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very cool.
usually I will throw some, like, we don't usually eat it, but throw some onions and carrots and stuff
Yeah.
in there.
Little flavor,
just
yeah.
for a little extra flavor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Pretty basic, pretty traditional.
Yeah.
And you?
The ovens. Well, mine generally starts for
Quadruple roasted smoked.
40.
I dig a
Are
pit.
you guys-
I
you
put
guys
the
got your
turkey under the
pens and-
ground for
You guys
6
got
months.
your pens.
I
and-
brine it for
And
approximately
I
12 weeks.
brine it for 24 hours. And I've played with the brine before. Just different versions. Usually come as long as you have enough salt, it does a good job absorbing it. Casey's right though. My turkey's gonna look really ugly by the time I'm done, and I'll explain kind of
So
why.
tender though.
But yeah, so
I
I
got
brine for
I got a quick brine question. Can I ask you a brine question?
yeah.
You
shoot.
open to
Yeah,
this?
I'll share.
What kind of turkey do you buy to brine? Because like I feel like every turkey I see in the grocery store is already kind of like in a solution.
Full
you know, like a-
disclosure, I've never bought the turkey myself in the store.
Okay.
I've either my parents would
ordered
come
one
down a
with
little
your hands.
early and bring a turkey that they had, or Michelle, they would get them from work. Actually, Midwest Bank would provide their staff a turkey, so they've also done hams.
Probably
so
not this year, the way it prices.
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
yeah,
Good
happy
luck.
holidays. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I generally brine it and then drain it. And like Jeremy's saying, I don't even remember where I picked that up, but you take some room temperature butter, lift up the skin, go under the skin with your
Oh yeah.
butter coating to get that
Mhm.
glaze in there. And that helps. I really a long time ago I fell into Weber's beer can chicken seasoning. It's just a really nice
Good.
herby, nothing too crazy. I've tried other ones before and it's weird. It kind of, I don't think it always meshes well with turkey, like citrusy things, sweet ones. So I just went back to savory. Kind of go all over, go inside, go over the skin. And then I put it on the smoker in a foil pan with like a can of beer, crammed in there to help kind of steam it from the inside. And to the point of making it ugly, I usually it's like a 3.5, 4 hour process, but first hour is like breast side up, then flip it so that stays juicy and doesn't dry out. And then when you flip it back over, it kind of tightens everything back up again to a point. You just got to be a little cautious so it doesn't get overdone. But it comes out looking a little ugly because all those little drippings and everything kind of cling to it. But at the same time, I'm not taking it to the table like you're carving it for everybody. I'm doing that off to the side and then bring it over. And it's nuts. Like what's so much fun with turkey is that you could so vividly see the smoke ring on those breasts when you're cutting through it. I mean, you could really see. I mean, that's awesome stuff when you can see how deep it's penetrating in. And I don't know. It's worked out pretty well.
Sounds
Wasn't.
delicious.
I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
I don't do it
right.
any other way. No. Get a Traeger, get a Pit Boss or something. Jeez.
God, I know. I keep telling myself. It's just like I'm just one of these guys where you just don't need more things. I just hate things, I
This
already
is a
have
valuable thing.
I have a grill, like I have an oven.
I have a grill that I don't use enough.
Right,
I
like, I
fall in
just-
that same thing.
I hear you. I almost never use our propane grill.
Yeah.
And every now and again. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just I just feel like it's more stuff. I just want stuff. I don't have
This is
enough
like
stuff.
I hear you. I like to be more of a minimalist, but this is a functional thing.
Here's the deal. Maybe the problem is like I have a Weber grill. So I
Okay.
would say when that thing quits working, I would probably do like a Traeger, but I'm sure I got 20 years of this grill left at least, if I take care of it. So
just save these show notes.
it's going to be like my cat.
The
It
recipe
just
I gave you.
refuses to die on me.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Chopper. You finally did it.
R.I.P..
Yeah, he finally went home, sweet angel.
How deep do you bury a grill?
At the
6
Dolings,
inches?
you just throw it in the grill pile.
Okay.
No,
We had
that's
lots of
scrap
grills.
No, we had scrap metal piles.
Throw her on. Throw her on.
But I mean, what's really important this week was the insane game of the year between the Buffalo Bills and our local favorites, everybody's favorites, the Minnesota Vikings. Woo!
Yeah, definitely a game for the ages, really. A great game, not just of the year, but
I mean,
it was a top game.
If there were greater stakes, I'd like to say that's a playoff game, that's all time. I mean, you all of a sudden, that's got to be a top. I don't know. If that was a playoff game, I'd almost say that was like the greatest game ever.
What about
Yeah, I mean
Denver?
that switch back and forth at the end is crazy.
God, that goal line, like their goal line stop and then the ensuing goal line fumble. I mean, moments like that just never happen. I mean, it's just wild.
I feel like Josh Allen's never fumbled a snap either in his pro career, like until that time. Like, the guy's a legit MVP candidate, and he just muffs it.
Yeah, gives the game
I
away,
could see
really.
Kirk. I could see Kirk doing that all day, but Josh Allen, come on.
Yeah, that's 100% a Carson Wentz move for sure.
Yeah,
he does those more often than not. You know?
Yeah, I feel bad. How bad is, speaking of Kirk, man, his right foot must just have been jacked up twice. Our big old
big boys
stepping on his foot, tripping him.
Yeah, and he did not move when that foot got stepped on. I mean,
that's a lot of weight coming down.
Weight on you. He just went down like a ton of bricks. There was no slide or anything.
I had one of those. I took a foot stomp on my foot back my sophomore year of college, and I had a pretty vivid, really vivid old school like spike, like the old rounded ones, hard plastics.
Yeah,
like, you can see where they welted up on the top of my foot, man. Oh God, that took being down in that part of your body so distally. I mean, it took like a week for it to even look normal again. That hurt.
Those cleats hurt.
But then, I mean, even the officiating was just that added this element to it. Now, if you're all of us lifelong Vikes fans, we're just ready to piss and moan and blame it on them. But
yeah,
I mean, at least we got by. But man, there's so many weird things that happened in that game that there's I mean, even earlier in the game, there was a PI called on Hawkinson in the end zone. They called for offensive pass interference and like backs everything up. And then 2 plays later, Cousins goes to him again, and this time he's being like held. You could see like his shirt being yanked, and Moose Johnson's on there. Oh, I guess they're letting him play in the end zone. I'm like, what? I'm like, you idiot. You are calling the same game, right? Because 2 plays ago they called offensive pass interference. It's just like, and then the 12 men on the field for that like first and goal, and the Davis catch that they didn't even look at, which is just mind-boggling these days. Like that important of a moment of a game.
If it's even close, why would you not take the 2 seconds to be like, oh, yep, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, all right. Man, what a game though. Marathon game, like 3 hours and 50 minutes long.
Yeah, it was a double whammy following that game up with the Cowboys-Packers game.
Yeah, that also went OT. Yeah.
A lot of football.
I'm really trusting Christian Watson.
Are you?
Yeah.
See if he figured it out. Yeah.
More buys on tap this week. I snuck by in 2 close ones still. Even with playing the entire Falcons lineup last week, I still snuck by in one.
Lost in both my games.
Did you?
Yeah, that hurt. It was a tough week, but
I pulled it off benching Allen anyways.
You benched him
like 30 minutes before the game. I just wasn't sure how, when they said he was active and McDermott was still playing it tight, like
I'm with you.
Like who's starter? I'm like, what if he did start Keenum and went with Case for like a quarter and a half, and that cuts into Allen's production. And honestly, the differential between him and Jimmy G was like 4 points, so it wasn't a killer for me.
Yeah,
it turned out fine.
Yeah, like everybody else in the world, I had Christian Watson on the bench, which that would have helped immensely.
He was like the 4th or 5th highest score. There was some mad scores again this week. I saw.
Yeah, JJ in PPR hit like 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing against him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was yeah, we can move on from fantasy. We don't need to talk about that anymore.
All right.
All right. It's not rewarding enough for you?
No.
Oh,
I'm yeah.
What is rewarding?
I have some experiences that are quite rewarding.
All right. That worked out well. Yeah. Decent little segue.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, so I'm going to shift into our main topic, right? Our most rewarding patient experiences. I believe the show notes was patient experiences, not PT experiences, right? You weren't just lazy
patient care, like patient that,
Oh, I read
patient or
I read PT experiences.
Patient.
Jeremy.
It says patient care.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kidding.
And I did lowercase.
Whatever.
I kept it lowercase.
Yeah. There was no dot. I didn't know.
Old school abbreviations. Yeah.
Anyways, you're lucky because I did patient experiences, so we're good.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
No, so just like stuff we've had, I reflected on this because we had our train wreck episode, so to speak, right? Like our tough cases, those demoralizing moments, and maybe we lean into that stuff a little bit more. Maybe we lean into trashing stuff too much. So let's throw some love.
Warranted.
Let's throw some love on our profession
And
a little bit. Yeah. Moments like, could be a special case that you worked with, somebody, somebody who wasn't necessarily expected to have a great outcome and did. Somebody who verbalized that to you, let them know how much it mattered. Or it could just be, your run-of-the-mill person who, just expressed a lot of gratitude for what you did for them.
Yeah, it's a great topic. I think, like you said, I think we tend to dwell on our negatives. There's some weeks where you're like, oh, nobody's getting better. Or, you're just not hitting your goals that you want to. But it's funny. You feel that way, but then you look at your schedule and you're like, oh, yeah, like 8 of my 9 patients every day are getting better. But
it's gotta be, we've talked about that before too. Don't you think that must be like there must be a psychological term for that, right? Where you totally
negative Nancy, I believe is what the psychologist called it. Yeah.
Yes. Freud created that, or maybe it was Jung. Young. But
Young with the soft J.
Yeah, it's like, but you know what I'm saying? How we always like the magnitude of a memory is stronger with like negativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just said, we'll go home that day dwelling on that one bad interaction and totally forgetting about like the 7 or 8 like amazing ones, right?
Yeah, I think, and it's not just therapy. I guess life as a whole is that way. I mean, I would say if you could pick, if you just told me, like, hey, pick like the top 5 most intense moments for you, like I probably pick awkward moments, terrible moments first, other than I would say like the birth of my children. That one does stand out as a real powerful positive.
Yeah.
But even like my wedding day was a great day, but I don't know if there was a moment like during my, the whole day where I'm like, that was a powerful moment. Great day, but I think you're just so busy and you're so into everything that's going on, like even the I do and the kiss and all that. I mean, the night, gentlemen. But other than that, like,
I feel like you're baiting us in. Like, I almost have to be like, no, mine was full of like amazing memories.
Go ahead. You can say that. I mean, be a good guy.
No, mine was. I look back and it, like you said, like it is so true, and maybe it's trite, but like the birth of your kids are huge, especially your first one. I mean, obviously, it feels like you always got to do the disclaimer. Like, it doesn't mean I don't love the other ones less, but like the first kid, there's just something so special about that.
But I do love them less.
No, I didn't say that.
But
I'm not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it.
I suppose your body gets used to that flood of emotion, that dopamine dump that you get with the first one. It's like anything.
Never be that new again, right? I mean, you can never have a first of that again, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, and marriage, the wedding day was awesome. I mean, it is just like those proverbial fever dreams, I guess, of everything going through. But yeah, how about you, Jeremy? Everything just you just all pissy positives. And moany.
I'm always pissy and moany.
That's not the Jeremy I picture.
Yeah, it is. But no, shoot, yeah, wedding day. Like, I would like that went so fast, right? Like everyone tells you it does. But that went so fast. But yeah, obviously an amazing day. I think my, like when my daughter was born, I think I was more like shocked. I don't think it hit me until later, like where it was just like kind of like, holy, yeah, it is real now, right? Like it's like, whoa, like I'm responsible for this live human being now. So it's like amazing and cool to know that that's something that you help create. But then there was like this like kind of immediate like almost some heaviness to it too, where it's like, man, this is a lot of responsibility too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like any leadership thing, right? Greatly rewarding, but greatly challenging.
But yeah, I mean,
go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, I know like as far as work and it, like I almost feel like it'd be some layer of imposter syndrome, almost like where you're just like, man, I'm not doing anything right, I'm not getting patients better, where you can like fall into that a little bit. And because maybe people don't verbalize it, but that's not how they see you, or that's not how they reflect on your interactions. And but yeah, those for sure. I mean, in sports and work and life, I mean, yeah, I'm always a person that's like trying to learn from those tough experiences, and it probably marginalizes the good ones, like and
diminishes them at least,
yeah.
And that's why I wonder, like when we have these good moments, like the wedding or the birth of your kid, like you can be in the moment and just like enjoy the moment for as long as the moment goes on, right? Like you just soak it in, you enjoy it. But I wonder if like the bad things when they happen, at least for me, a lot of times it's compartmentalized because you got to move on. So I wonder if maybe I don't deal with the bads, in the moment as much.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
That's why they stick with you, maybe because you never really process them. It's just like, oh, that bad moment, boom, it's in this box,
and you try
it just stays there.
And I think
forever,
you go through those cycles when anything bad. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like if stuff bad happens to you, like or you've created it even worse, right? You've made a mistake. But as those things early on keep creeping back in your mind, it's like your brain wants to go to them. And what's your reaction? You're like, no, like I don't want to relive this. I don't want to relive it. And before you know it, it's 5 years later, and you're like, man, what did happen, right? What you have brain fog on those incidents, right? To a certain degree. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Maybe we need to live our bad experiences more. I don't know, but you got to move on too. It's such a juggle. But that's not what this is about. We're talking about good times.
Happy,
good patients, good
getting
happy
those people
times.
better, right?
It is fun to reflect on this stuff, and I think for me, the patient experiences had lots of awesome ones. When you sit back and think about it, made some patient memories have just been forever. I just even had a patient return to me today. Actually, I saw her 5 years ago and just got to thinking about, like, I've seen her. This would be the third time over the course of that 5 years for complex regional pain stuff. And it's like, man, you think about all those victories you have, and it brought back a lot of good memories. I mean, I feel, it's too bad she's got to flare up, but we had a good talk today and I think it will be managed pretty well. But just so much stuff over the years, and you start reflecting. So it's a cool topic. It was fun to look back and think of it. But I would say for me, now that I've shifted more into this persistent pain kind of wheelhouse, like the wins have been pretty awesome. I would say I've had some more powerful wins. I would say in the last 3-4 years, I guess 6 years now that I've been doing it here with Big Stone. But those first couple of years was such a whirlwind. Like you said, I was just in the moment. I don't know if I appreciated them quite as much because we had cool wins in the hospitals. I mean, there was patients that told, hey, you got to find a nursing home. And then, we kicked butt over the course of 4 or 5 days with them and they were able to go home. I mean, all those felt amazing,
Yeah.
Same with strokes. Like they're tough, but man, when they walk out of there, and we had a few nursing home people too, where it was like, boy, this is probably where you're going to live, and they were young people, 45, 50 because of some pretty severe stuff, and you get them home like that. That's a pretty solid win.
Yeah.
And even just those normal experiences in their nursing home too, where you just felt like you were making a difference in their life just because you listened and you spent time and you kept them moving.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with you. Non-progressive neuro stuff is like incredibly rewarding.
Hard, boy, it's hard. I mean, you'll have moments that pull heartstrings, pull your capacity, but
yeah, I could imagine doing that day in and day out. Whew.
Be tough.
That would be
for sure
a very big challenge.
Yeah, I can't imagine working with just like MS, Parkinson's all day long.
Yeah, but progressive stuff is it provides like those relationships which are so rewarding in their own way, right? You see that discipline, and I've been highly motivated by individuals who continually return to the clinic with Parkinson's or MS, like those two diseases especially, and they're willing to just lay it out there and stay at the highest level of function that they possibly can, avoid assisted devices. And that's just so encouraging when you're working with that, but there's something that's not finite either, right? Like I think we get to, with a lot of the other stuff, we can like close the book on something and feel like we accomplished it, and got them where they needed to be. And we just know
more of a temporary win. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good for now. We know where it ends to a certain extent. Yeah. Does anybody jump out in your mind, Jeremy? Anybody? I thought of one gal, like this was actually up in North Dakota too, when I was a student. Strong
people up here.
This gal, she was bedridden, like extreme bariatric patient. Man, in the time that I was there, I swear she lost 65 pounds or something like in a very short period of time. But we were just working a lot on like bed mobility, like, and she wasn't very old either, like early 50s. And like, I don't know, I'll forever remember that day, like when she was able to like independently sit on the edge of the bed. And it's like her kind of response to that, and just like how emotional she was. And I think things like that are powerful for me, because again, like in the course of the day to day, like it's easy to be like, oh man, this is so bad, or this is tough, or this is the challenge that I'm going against. And then it's like, but man, there's a lot of things I do from a movement perspective that I don't give two thoughts to. I don't think about rolling out of bed.
Yeah.
Totally
right.
And this,
take it for granted.
This gal was like for all intents and purposes, was a prisoner in her own body. Like, I'm stuck here, so that was powerful. I don't know, like there's a few other people that stick out, like where, they're just incredibly, just verbalize their gratefulness. Like, man, I didn't think I'd ever get back to work. Like, I can't believe you did this. And it's like, well, I didn't do this. You did it. I just guided you through it, but like to have that, somebody get that control back. And then there's actually one other gal too, like that would be more on that chronic pain spectrum within the last few months that we saw, that just like, again, like, not that she's walking out pain free, but like interacting in her life again after years. I'm like, I think that's pretty powerful stuff too, where you're just like, again, kind of have that shift from, pain having control over every aspect of your life, to being able to, teach somebody that, like, hey, like there's things that we can do to combat this and get back to it. So I don't know. Those are probably the ones that stick out more recently for me. So
those
I don't know. It's like,
if
you can facilitate like giving somebody choices back in their life, I think that's pretty cool. I would say my goal is to take the butt away, and I would say most days I'm working with grown adults, and whether you want to go for a hike or lift this or swim or whatever, I want that to be your choice, not your backs, or not your knee, or not your shoulder.
I like that.
So I'm like, it's pretty cool to give somebody that like level of choice or autonomy back in their life.
Man.
So
yeah, that's awesome.
How
I
about
like
you,
that
man?
spin. Yeah, I'll take a spin. What was really on my mind when I threw this together, I'll put a different edge on it, and just being blessed to have worked with different high school athletes over the years and helping them, get back into the field of play or maintain that high level of function and be able to do what they really want to do. And then beyond that, I was reflecting, I didn't even realize it till today. It didn't even dawn on me. But like the ones who, I guess, they appreciated what we did to the point where they went into student internship with us. And we've had a couple go on to get some observation hours in undergrad. And then they go off to grad school, get a therapy school, and we're writing like letters of rec for them. And you see the domino effect. And one of them is a PT with us she just started back in our Marshall clinic here like a couple months ago. And I totally forgot that when she was probably like 14 or 15, she was a dancer and I worked with her with like a foot and ankle issue, and it's like, man, that's just such a cool thing that I don't know, we go through life and you're never stopping to really reflect on that stuff. And you just move, boom, 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 boom. And before you know it, like 8-9 years have passed and you're like, wow, okay, that's where we're at now, and that's kind of cool. Another dude that blew his ACL when he was a freshman, on that same path now off into college. And that's just a cool thing. It probably because it mirrors my own story that I shared here, right? Like I was going to go into, family practice medicine. And then when I had my meniscal surgery back as a junior, going through therapy with those guys changed my life, kind of changed my perspective on what I wanted to do and how I wanted to interact with people. So that's probably my bias, right? Playing out, that hits home with me. But I also got my last one that I'd say I'll really current is this gal, the awesome case, 30 years old. I think she just turned 30. She's diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome like 6 months ago and was literally like bedridden for a certain period of time. Came here, moved back home. She was living out in California, but like moved back here because she's from here. Had some awesome home health, some terrific therapists that we have on our team to get her to outpatient, and then she lands on my schedule, right? And to see where her like Tenetti and her Berg and her ton scores were like day one, and this is non-progressive neuro, like she's recovering, right? But being able to see this happen like week over week over week, and where she's at now, walking with no assisted devices and ready to kind of go back home, right? And get back to living. That stuff's pretty awesome. Like, I mean, that's our job, right? Getting back to LIVIN.
Living.
Man.
Yeah, those are when I think of, probably for me, I kind of had 3 of them that stuck out, just kind of more recent ones. One patient showed up, 40s. You could tell she was pretty miserable, came in with her husband, wouldn't make eye contact with me. Everything was a whisper talk. Really wanted to get back, pain everywhere. Really wanted to get back to helping out with her family, but she was pretty much bedridden. So we just started with the basics and, a lot of pain education, a lot of pacing, graded exposure. Her big goal was to cook for her family again. And I don't remember when I started seeing her, maybe July or August. So we worked a lot on being able to make Thanksgiving dinner for the family. So it was pretty cool after Thanksgiving for her to have come in and say, I cooked Thanksgiving dinner for my family. We sat down and planned it. You're going to get up the day before. This is all the stuff you're going to prep. At 9 a.m, you're going to prep this. Noon, you're going to prep this. 6 p.m, you're going to work this.
A lot of the imagery you're saying, right? Mental imagery.
No, like actual pacing, though. Like, you got to cut onions up. So 9 a.m, the day before, you're cutting those onions up. Then you're going to go take a break. Throw the onions in the freezer, so the next morning you can take it all out. And so we just planned like the 2 or 3 days of how she could make this meal in 30 to 45 minute pieces. Because she couldn't tolerate 2 to 3 hours of activity to cook a meal. So she was like almost in tears, got her to the point where she was actually able to resume work. She became an Uber driver. So just cool things. She left me just like an awesome front to back note, kind of the same thing. Like, hey, when I first met you, I got out of bed maybe 30 minutes a day. Like I'm working now. I'm cooking every meal for my family. I'm contributing. My relationship with my husband has never been better. We were on the brink of not being a couple anymore because of the stress of the family. And, I'm connected with my children now like I haven't been in years. So like that one's pretty powerful. And I still see her on and off for stuff. I mean, life comes at her still, but we work through stuff and, she's still independent working. Just recently went on a trip to Texas and back. So, doing some cool stuff. Another gal came to me. She actually called me asking me about, because of my pain certification, she had some questions. And I said, yeah, just come in. Let's work on some stuff. She came in a power chair. She had, I think like 30 surgeries at that point. Not just for a combination of things, kidney stuff, heart stuff. She had a permanent line into her heart, for dialysis and things like that. And so she came in the power chair. She too was, I don't even think she was 50 yet, but she had a job she really loved. And she's like, I'm pretty sure within a couple weeks, I'm going to be in the nursing home. Can you help me with assistive devices? And can you help me try to work as long as I can? And I said, yeah, I mean, that's definitely something we work at. She was talking about adaptive equipment and things like that. I said, let's see what we're working with. What's going on? Yeah. She's like, I can't feel anything below the legs. Came on out of the blue. They don't know what's going on. All I feel below my knees is just fire, burning fire. I have no active motion below the knees. I can transfer from my bed to my power chair. She came in on a bus, right? She's not driving or anything. And we did the exam and I did some things like 2-point and graphesthesia. And, the 2-point was interesting because, is this 1 or 2, and she's like, I can't tell, I'm like, where am I poking you? And she's like, it feels like the back of my calf. I said, so you can feel that, although it was on the front of her calf. And it was just like this moment. And then we started doing just like active assistive type movements with her legs and they moved a little bit. She like fluttered her toes and like, it just gave her this hope. And I said, we can do that assistive stuff, but I'd really love if you gave me a chance to work with you on some stuff and see, there's something here. And we worked hard. I mean, we started out with 30 seconds on the new step, take a long break after that. You did a lot of sensory stuff, got her to the point where I actually got her driving again, which is a funny story because she's like, do you think I could drive? And I had checked coordination, sensation. She had gotten to that point pretty good. And I said, let's try it out, see what happens.
In the mean streets of Fargo.
Come to our parking lot.
Well, that's what I said. You have an apartment, take a few laps around the apartment, right? See how it goes, see how comfortable you feel. She comes back the next time and she's like, hey, I tried driving. I was like, how'd it go? She's like, funny, I got in a car accident. So I was like, oh no. I was like, what happened? She's like, well, I drove her on the she's like, I drove her on the lot. She's like, I drove her on the lot, it felt good. So I decided to get on the street. Like, I was on the street, so I thought, maybe I'll visit my dad that lives in Moorhead and I live in Fargo. So I got on the interstate. She's like, and I'm like, well, I'm on the way to my dad, so I might as well stop and pick up some fast food for him. So it was like, she took what I told her, just took it to the nth degree. And it was just a tiny little fender bender when she was in line at the fast food place. But
cool.
Anyways, got to the point where she was walking independently, driving on her own, didn't use the power chair anymore. And just a powerful moment one day when we were working out. I think we're working on like getting off of the floor because that was like a big goal of her, was to like get down and play with kids. And she liked to sit on the floor and play cards before. We got done and it was tough, but she's like, what's crazy? And I was like, what? She's like, I don't think I'm going to die anymore. And I said, what do you mean? She's like, when I first,
like, everybody's going to die.
Yeah. I said, I have terrible news for you.
Spoiler alert.
But that's why, I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, when I came to see you, I thought, within a year I was going to die.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't have an expiration date in the future anymore. So I mean, that was pretty powerful.
That's powerful. Yeah, that's super killer.
That's
You
like
must
still a
promise me you won't
choke up moment
die.
for me thinking about it.
He'll never
Yeah.
die.
I
Yeah,
won't
she's immortal now.
die.
So that was cool. And then, last one that sits out with me, which is a good segue to what we talk about. I had a guy that had a very rare kind of disease. So I'm not even going to say it because it would probably be a HIPAA violation because there's not that many people that have ever had it.
Mhm.
But in essence, it knocked out his C5 nerve root, completely wiped it out. Denervated the whole thing. So when he showed up, I mean, without C5, I mean, he couldn't barely move his arm, right? I mean, he could kind of move his scapula a little bit and swing it up, but he had went to Mayo and they had told him no use going to therapy, no use trying, like it might come back, it might not, but there's no use doing therapy. And he was like, screw that, I want to work my butt off. Are you willing to work with me? I've never worked a guy harder. Like this dude, even from day one, just pouring sweat when we were done, because we would do just resisted isometrics. We were doing lots of, I was working C4, C6. I was like, can we get carryover? Can we overload? Doing lots of sensation stuff because he had 0 sensation. So same thing, 4 and 6. Like, can we at least take the brain and narrow 5 down?
Remap it a little bit.
Yeah. And I remember that first time we finally got like supine shoulder flexion on his own, like the high 5 with his other arm that we did afterwards. And like, he just kept going. He took up CrossFit, even though he couldn't use that arm. He was doing whatever he could. And it was just cool because eventually he had full return of function of that thing. You wouldn't have ever even known anything was wrong there. So, and then he showed up, a couple months later just to show me how good he was doing. And he high-fived me with that arm.
What?
That's a cool thing, man.
So powerful. That dude did not need my top 5 motivational pump up songs because that dude did it on his own.
You didn't sprinkle it in like throughout the course. Do you guys have overhead sound system?
No, I have a little boombox with a cassette player, with a CD player and cassette player on it. Good story.
You should burn some discs.
I'll take a picture of it for you guys. I don't have that.
I think you do. I think
overhead sound money. Yeah, it's just sitting on that ledge there.
Come on, Ghazi.
Open up the purse strings there.
Yeah.
We have a PA. I guess I could play music over top of it, but
yeah. Well,
I could just take like my phone and put the PA on and just put my phone by it and just play music on that.
Yeah. That's how they used to do a lot of pledges of allegiance. They still do that for some youth wrestling tournaments around these parts too. Somebody cues it up on like Spotify or whatever, and then puts the mic next to it.
The Pledge of Allegiance. Huh?
Yeah. But not a bad segue there, Case. We touched on this with Dave, right? Our guest of the show,
episode
Dave Stensland.
18. For those keeping track.
Seems like so long ago. If you want to go back to the archives.
If you want to compare lists.
At that time, it was really like all-time pump-up songs, like maybe retreading some stuff going way back in the day. This one's perhaps a little bit more contemporary, seeing if any of our thoughts or influences have changed over the last 6 months and seeing where we sit now. Casey also had a little banter, a little distinction on, hey, I get fired up a little bit differently for cardio versus, powerlifting, stuff like that. So
it's Brittany.
Great point. It's
Brittany, bitch.
So
let's go.
Great point.
That hits you at mile 24.
And actually, you might hear me reference that in my own list, actually, because you planted that seed in my head. Because you're absolutely right. Like I don't necessarily I don't do distance running anyways to, like Bulls on Parade or Rage Against the Machine or something like that. Just I've learned long ago. I get influenced by like more steady state stuff, stuff that gets you more mentally in tune.
Yep. So good high beat.
Yeah. So with that said, I can kick it off and then
hit me with your best shot.
Boys,
come on.
You guys it's not hitting you with your best shot.
Fire away.
My number 5 is
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
My number 5 was originally recorded in 1983 by the great band Journey, and it is called Only the Young, which is famous from guess what movie, fellas?
Is that a Vision Quest thing?
The opening credits of Vision Quest. That's right.
Oh, okay. I'm familiar with that song just from the one time I've seen that.
What is Matthew Modine doing? He is
wrestling
running to cut some weight. And
right
to this
across
day,
that beautiful bridge.
It's a great guitar. Neil Sean's just on point with his guitar riff.
Scene is burned in my brain.
Oh, well, and I feel like I'm Loudon Swain trying to shed a few pounds, because in reality, I'm Nick Doling trying to shed a few pounds. I'm out there hitting the streets. But just a great uplifting song too. There's a cool story about how the first person they ever played that for was like a Make-A-Wish kid. They met, who was a huge fan of theirs, and he was like 11 or 12, and like they're like, hey, we created this song. It's going to be on this movie. It's going to be a single, but you're going to be the first person to ever hear it. Now that's a cool thing too. Just knowing that backstory, I think it's pretty powerful, pretty cool. So that's my number 5. Like I said, originally recorded, I believe, in 1983 on the Frontiers album, but I think more prominent in 85, Vision Quest. So Journey, Only the Young. Check it out there, folks.
It sounds like a hit. I've heard it once. And I'll never watch Vision
I don't
Quest
think I've
again,
ever.
so.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard it.
Breaking my heart, fellows.
You've never watched Vision Quest? Is that true?
No, yeah, I haven't. Sorry.
Next time,
I'm sorry.
Next PPS, I'll bring my VHS copy.
Yeah, we should do one of those YouTubes where all three of us will watch
along?
it together. Yeah, watch along. I'll press play at the same time, and we'll just do comments.
Yeah.
Can you believe it? They finally wrestled in this movie 2 hours in.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. No, there's some practice scenes early on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's questionable.
And he has one competitive match that he loses because his nose. But anyways, this ain't about Vision Quest. We've covered that before.
Should be. No.
Or is it?
30 episodes ago. Let's bring it back. I'll go next. Yeah, when I did this list, I thought I'd switch it up. You talked about have things changed, and I'm like, boy, if I would talk about lifting, I don't know if my pump up songs have changed much from earlier in the year when I did this list. So I kind of did my like cardio pump up. I used to be a big runner, surprisingly, for those of you that watch YouTube.
Prove it.
Bruce Valanche-esque physique now would lead you to believe I never ran, but I did run one marathon in my life. 26
You've really
miles.
embraced that.
Yeah. I am Bruce Valanche. So definitely, like, I had to go through some pump up songs. So my number 5 was actually probably one of my first like big running songs that like would just get me through that last 5 minutes of your run where you're like,
yeah.
Just a solid beat, pretty upbeat. It was from 2005. It's Feel Good Inc. By the Gorillaz from the album Demon Days. There was just something about like it would come on and it's like feel good, and you're like head down, just bobbing, trying to get through the last couple, half mile. You're like, oh, and it would always did it for me. It always was like one of those carry me home songs. Just uplifting, good. Like I said, nice beat, nice, cool. Like you could. Like you said, you're dying and you're listening, and then you have that little bit, you're like, feel good. Like, and then you just start running again,
Yeah.
Like, it was just that moment. So that's my number 5, Feel Good Inc. Gorillaz, 2005, Demon Days.
Awesome point on the distance run too, because like anybody who's done that, any listeners out there, like you reach that point where you need to kind of hit your kick at some point to finish out, right? Because you never want to finish out walking or do anything like that. And I can remember all those years in Fargo, I did 5 halves in a row, and it was like you get to that end, you get to that final like half mile, and I just kept like scrolling next, like on my shuffling along until I hit that. Okay, what's going to do it for me? Like you're saying, because that's you do kind of need it. You need everything you get, every edge. All right, Jeremy, number 5.
Yeah, this motivates me. I don't know if it's uplifting at all. But I don't know if that had to be a criteria. I hope I didn't do this wrong.
It's motivating. What gets you going, anyways, bro?
So
open to interpretation. It's your list.
Good beats get me going.
5
so this
TI
is
songs.
No, TI does make a
Don't spoil it.
List
Don't
appearance,
spoil
but,
it.
This was from the 2020 album Detroit 2 by Michigan's own Big Sean. The song is called Wolves.
By Big Sean.
Big Sean. Put it on your list.
Yeah.
Why are we producing this time, Case?
I'm working on it. I was just doing that. Give me a break.
Bruce.
I'm trying.
Bruce!
There's superheroes fighting. Big
Watch
Sean.
out, Bruce Valanche.
Big Sean, yeah.
baby.
Wolves.
SEAN. Yeah, with Post Malone.
Ooh,
But
Posty.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's
Okay.
it's tough to describe it. It's just a little banger. I mean, that's something like comes on the playlist. Let's go volume 11. Let's do it. So
Volume 11, baby.
That's my number 5.
Nice. And it's called what again? I'm looking it up right now.
Wolves.
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 Yep.
There we go.
Wolves.
Big Sean. Look at that guy. And Post Malone.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. He's all geared up.
I'd play it. I don't know what the rules are. I think I can do under 30 seconds of a song, but I don't want to deal with not being able to post this. So just imagine in your theater of the mind. That says not what it sounds like.
Wolves.
I knew I'd get you to do it. Come on.
Yeah, I like the beginning there.
Does
Does that come through? Can you guys hear that?
No, I'm getting nothing.
All right. I gotta
Sorry,
switch
listeners.
Sorry, I tried. I don't know why it didn't let me share that. Anyways, all right. Yeah, Wolves. Big Sean.
Wolves. I got it. I just added it to my library, so I'm gonna check it out. It's done.
Sounds cool already.
My number 4 is my most contemporary song on my list yet, which is already shocking to me. It's 4 years old already. It is Take It to the Edge by Godsmack. I think we referenced Godsmack in our new metal talk, and it's a very, very good song. Kind of speaks to you in a lot of different ways about, I don't know, how to live your life, maybe.
Did you take this all off of
trepidation.
35 best running hits? Is
No.
your whole list off of there?
No, this is like, this song was legit. This one, when I threw this out there, I had like 4 songs right off the top of my head that I wrote down. I'm like, this is definitely one of them, more contemporary for me. And okay, there we go. Wow, that's good timing.
That's all I can do, I think. That's all. Yeah, I just guessed on that. You're welcome. 5
all right.
seconds.
Yeah.
Now you can imagine.
So kind of a nice banger that Godsmack had 4 years ago, keeping it relevant. I like it. So that was my number 4.
All right, my number 4. Probably don't need to pull this up for anybody because they all know it. It's from 2002. It was on Jeremy's pump up list. I believe it was his number 1. Lose Yourself, Eminem, 8 Mile soundtrack. It's a good run song for me. It's usually a little earlier in the run. You know, when you're looking at hitting that first wall there, when you're trying to get your second wind in. It's that one about that first like 3/4 of a mile on a long mile run. Just for some reason, that was always like the brutal part for me. After a mile, then I was good. So this usually came on about 7 minutes in, and yeah, Eminem, Lose Yourself. Everybody knows the song, so I don't need to say more about it. It's
pretty solid.
Pumper up for you. Yeah, still holds.
Still holds up. Jeremy smoking the pod today.
Number 4.
I love it.
This comes from 2015 by the artist Drake. The song is called Energy.
Ooh, yeah, I like it.
So yeah, these are probably all explicit songs, but great beat.
Our podcast is explicit, so you're all right.
Oh, good. Yeah. So it's just a good beat. It says it all. High energy. Love Drake's flow. But
great song.
Drain me of this energy, trying to take away
Whoa! Pulled this curse word right out of there, huh?
Yep.
Sorry.
Well, we set the.
I
Casey,
warned you.
We set the tone the last time we tackled this list when we were referencing creatine. I mean, I think that kind of was like.
If I look back on a year in pod, I think that was the turning point to this thing falling apart, Nick. If I'm gonna be honest,
I'll take blame.
That was the peak.
We were so nice up until that point, just very family oriented. And then I had to
And now-
start putting this as not for kids after that. So
The train was off the rails at that point. Great song though, Jeremy. Love it.
what year did that come out? Were the kids jamming
15.
to that?
2015.
2015, huh?
That's a
Probably
good song.
really,
Though.
really.
I can
Drake's
see that
prime.
drive. Like, oh man, what about? Do you listen to the new stuff with 21 Savage?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. And Amazon Music does have clean versions of it too. So
Ooh,
I can.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
can
gonna
listen
put
to
that effort in.
you like
Um,
you like Jimmy Cooks or what?
I don't know who that is.
Well, that's the name of the song.
Oh, I don't
Jimmy
see.
Cooks?
I just started the album and listened to it through a couple times now.
All right.
So I don't know the name of all the
Alright.
songs. What's the name?
Honestly,
is it,
never mind.
what's the name of the album? Is it Her Loss or
Yeah.
Her Loss? Yeah. Cool stuff. Yep. Love it. My number 3. This is sometimes you can't make this stuff up, but I think it's also from 2015, and it's also Drake, but it is the song Back to Back. And it kind of had a connection with me from going to, like, I've been kind of a Drake fan for a while. And I went to, Vikings were playing San Diego Chargers back when they were in San Diego. They're playing at TCF Bank, and that was played during the warm-ups, and that just kind of hit with me. Felt like it was, kind of fit the moment. Watching all the guys warm up and feed off that type of energy kind of stuck with me. So I still play it when I work out. Like it a lot. And yeah, that's my number 3 is Back to Back by Drake.
Unfamiliar with that? I'll have to put it on the list.
You've not heard that song, Casey?
No.
Oh,
What
it was
time?
used in like tons of memes too for a little while. The intro, like, oh man, oh man.
Not again.
All right.
But you might have beat me there with Energy though. I totally forgot about Energy. That's a good one.
That
That was a good album.
I gotta stop playing these or else we're gonna get flagged. But yeah.
Do they automatically they can figure that out, right? I mean,
Yeah, well, here's the nice thing though. When I pull these out to edit them, I can pull the audio back out. So for people listening, they probably won't hear these, but we can hear them.
oh man, what a buzzkill.
Oh man.
Oh man, oh man.
Hey, either you
Not
get to
again.
not hear the song or not hear us. That's the rules. I'll see what happens on YouTube though, because I ain't pulling them out on YouTube. So if you're a YouTube listener, which then you're probably not listening to this anyways in any other form. If you don't see
Going
episode
to jail.
3, that's
You know why?
All right. My number 3 from 2015 is probably a lesser known jam. I think this is an Icelandic band. The song is Genghis Khan by Mike Snow, Two Eyes. I love the beat, love the chorus. It just it gets me going. It's just I can't say the quality of the lyrics is great, but the song itself sounds phenomenal. Even from
two eyes. Oh, now you're not afraid to play music.
I did that. Sorry.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, it's a cool song. I love the song. The chorus is great, and that just gets me going. Again, as I'm running, you got to have these beats come on. It's kind of, again, one of those ones where you're running, you can kind of sing a little bit to the chorus for 10 seconds and then take a breath and keep running. So it's Genghis Khan, Mike Snow, Two Eyes.
Genghis Khan. Very cool. Yeah, Two Eyes. That stuck out right away. Did you guys realize all of our songs in a row were released in 2015?
2015. Good year. Good year.
It's not fair when you guys like pick the same guy for the same year.
Yeah, well, he had a lot of hits.
Good
back
album.
then. Still cranking them out. All right.
Number 3, 2017.
Ooh.
From I mean, he hasn't put out a ton of good stuff lately, but maybe the best lyricist in the game, Kendrick Lamar. The track is Humble. Sit down, be humble. Yeah. So, yeah, it was funny. I mean, again, not obviously an explicit song. This makes me laugh because right after we moved here, our pastor was like, man, I was telling my daughter, I love that song. Sit down and be humble. He's saying that, and then like our youth pastor is sitting up there, he's like that's not that's maybe not the song you want to be promoting.
It's a great song, man. What a banger.
It is a great song.
Yeah,
and his flow is so good. I mean,
man,
Good Kid, Mad City's like maybe that's one of the that's top 5 rap album all time. He's good. He's really good. So that's my number 3, Humble.
That's pretty cool. It's got, as Casey's got us pulled up, I'm interested in hearing like Skrillex's remix with it. Seems kind of interesting, but
ooh. Yeah, my short research is telling me I can't play these anymore. So
that's fine. That's fine. Sorry, listeners.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. Like I said, I can pull them out of my. I'm now thinking this is not going to make it on YouTube, but
we gotta pay do we gotta pay $8 a month in order to be able to do that?
We'll find out. I mean, they'll tag me for sure.
Hot news.
They copyright check me every time I post. So
I get that. My number 2, I think my number 2, taking it back to some rock and roll music. This little band from Denmark has had a lot of hits, but it is a Warrior's Call from 2011 by Volbeat. And I think it's kind of almost corny to a point, but I'm okay being corny now and again. With like the introduction, like the let's get ready.
We know.
But yeah, I'm okay with it. And I'm also I got like my 23andMe tells me that like 24% of me is Scandinavian,
Danish,
predominantly Danish. So now I have to just be a big Volbeat fan. So yeah, Warriors Call. Look at that, number 2.
Warriors Call. I'm curious, based on just Volbeat, where this hits songs. Boy, it's like number 5 on their popular songs. All out.
Shotgun Blues is new. That's a good one.
Yeah, the algorithm is a little skewed towards new songs for sure. They
Yeah.
always seem to be more popular.
They're not. I don't mind these guys.
They got find them cool
annoying, but yeah.
I like them.
That's my number 2 as far, and definitely more of a lifting song. Gets me dialed in.
All right, my number 2 from 2014, continuing my run jams, is a little song called "Whoa, Whoa, Whoa" from a rapper named Watsky.
Watsky
from All You Can Do. The album.
Is he from is he like a Fargo rapper?
No, somewhere
slinging the discs in the streets, baby.
Yeah, that's his face. I think I like a lot of his rap stuff. He's more spoken word rap with some cool beats, but very fast beats. So it's definitely one of those ones near the end of the run when I gotta pump myself up. This is the one. So
there's no chance 2. We can hear this stuff. Like I'm just left to my own imagination.
Well, all right. Sorry, YouTube.
Oh, I got him. I'm gonna.
Yeah, pull it up yourself.
Whoa. Pain in the Octagon.
Yeah,
I understand that reference. Yeah,
there you go.
That's
my number 2. Whoa, Whoa, Whoa by Watsky.
I get that.
2014.
I'm like, yeah. I am like the Captain America of our group. Like, I understand that reference. I get
it. My number 2, Drake's back on the list.
Woo, woo.
This is from the year 2014, and the song is Trophies. It's got a wonderful little brass intro. Casey.
I gotta stop.
You guys are seriously gonna stop.
It's gonna
Young-
cost me
Young Money
$1,000 to
featuring
post this
Drake.
video to YouTube.
Well, just don't post it. No one watches on YouTube anyways.
What is
Young-
Nick's mom gonna do?
Well, we'll apologize. It's better than you getting charged $1,000.
I'd do it for her, Nick. I'd do it for her.
I think
I'll
we're
do it.
right. I think life's be okay. What if I play it from my phone into the
That's
microphone?
the same
It
thing. I
doesn't
might as well
matter.
play it at that point.
They're gonna be like, we're picking it
Plus,
up. All right.
we need people to interact. Like we're giving them the treasure map. They need to go listen to the music.
Totally. I've done
Go
that.
find it
I've
out.
done that many
Spot
times,
it.
listening to a pod where I'm like, dang, I gotta go check out whatever they're talking about. Like movie,
Yeah, if you're
check
already
out-
listening
yeah.
to us on Spotify or Amazon, just pull it up.
Yeah.
Put
Yeah.
the check mark by it, like this little guy right here. Click
Check.
it. Boom. It's on your list.
Added.
Now you listen
We
to
got
it.
it. Been checking out.
Added.
Got a couple of them.
Mhm. Solid
Yeah,
gold.
cool. Trophies. Young Money feature. I just want to point that out again. It's not Drake. It's Young Money feature.
Feature.
Yeah. Well, Drake was part of Young Money.
You know all the ins and outs, the intricacies of Canadian rap.
Young Money, Cash Money, whatever.
God.
All
And I thought Toronto rap peaked with Snow. I was way off.
Way off.
Way off.
Way off.
We're on to number ones. I love this pacing, boys. It's keeping me fired up. My number one is by an artist who has been said on this show already, but is not the same song.
This is
Drake.
Nope. This is
Watsky.
by Eminem.
Ooh.
It's not Watsky. Just
You'll become
this-
fans. You give them a
we're-
listen.
we are also going back to 2002, and we are going with Rabbit Run from the same album, 8 Mile. Oh man, if you want a song that just kind of gets you fired up and just dialed the F in, it is Rabbit Run. Go check it out. Short but sweet. I don't even know if it's over 2 minutes long, seriously, but it's just him rap battling and it's phenomenal. So it almost gets me a little goosebumpy yet every now and again when I listen to it. So that's my number one. If I was doing a revisionist history list from that one 6 months ago, this would definitely be cracking that all-time list.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Boom, check mark. Yeah, so my number one from 1987. And I would say none of my songs on this list would change my other list at all. A totally different list for me, but this is probably the most rockin' one that would have maybe had a chance to break onto that list. But it's from, like I said, 1987. It's Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. There's just something, and
classic.
again, we've
Fun and
talked
games.
about
They've got 'em.
football movies always use this during like practice montages. Yeah, so it just pumps me up because it reminds me of football practice, just getting going. Yeah, if I really am dying, I can put this song on and it picks me up. It nostalgic for me. Plus, it's just pretty fast paced. I mean, there's a lot of songs on that album that I could probably just put that on and run to the
so
whole
good.
thing.
Top to
yeah.
bottom.
Yeah, as far as rock albums go, it rocks hard, but it definitely there's like a pace to it too, where I could run to that rock album, and there's not many I could say I could do that too. So, this is my favorite one off of it though, as far as running goes. Maybe not my favorite song on the album, but
Yeah, definitely classic, all time for sure. Jeremy, you get to finish this sucker out. Hit us with
told
another
you.
song that Casey's not.
I told you T.I. was gonna make it on the list.
T.I.
Coming from 06, the album King. What you know about that?
What you know about that? Oh, that's a good song.
it's
So
what you
good.
know, not what you know about that. Is that right? I don't.
Whole
know the
album,
difference.
the
What you
whole
know
album was
about.
good.
Well, it really
know
goes
all
like,
about
what you
that.
know about that. Yeah.
Unfamiliar. I'll do this for you though, Jer.
Click. Oh, you'll like it. You're gonna.
You'll
I have a
appreciate it.
feeling
Yep. Yep.
you might like T.I. more than Watsky.
Mm, You gotta give
It's tough
Watsky a
to-
listen.
Tough to beat a good Watsky album.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm gonna give that a good burn. We'll see.
I've said that a dozen times. I was so close to having Zwarte on here too, Casey. That's a Nodak.
That is a Nodak thing, huh? Oh, well,
Yeah.
saw a lot of street dances with Zorte.
Zwarte. Lucy was my lady.
Yeah, it's a fun list because there's a lot of kind of pump up songs. I think we could do a lot of fun lists like this, though. I was kind of thinking about that as well. As
kind of revisit some stuff, and yeah, we'll keep getting creative on it. Hopefully, going back, admitting when we're wrong, and admitting
when does that happen?
Nah, I refuse. That's why I did a different list.
You had a song called "Humble" on here, Jeremy. Right? You got to be humble.
Yeah, sit down, be humble. Yep.
Sit down, be humble. Yeah. Like I'm kicking myself already. When you said energy, I might put energy
it back on the playlist.
Back. Yeah.
I get it. I felt bad about Grandma's Boys missing that on my top comedies list. So
there's so many good, like when it comes to media, there's so much good stuff, right?
Yeah,
like
it's hard
to hit
dependent,
it
all. Right?
Oh yeah, yep, 100%.
You're feeling it one day, the next day you're like, nah, not really.
Happens.
Yeah,
fun list. Nice tight episode because that finishes out episode 43 for us. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Probably not this episode. Listen in next time to see what happens, I guess. I mean, if you're really curious, check us out on YouTube to see if I got copyright infringed based on my 5 second
You're in
clips.
jail.
Yeah. Ugh, that's sorry, Nick's mom. I'm not going to jail for you. No offense. Bury a dog together, but I'm not doing that. Hit us up at ptshoptalk@gmail.com with any questions, comments, lists. You want to be a guest, hit us up. We love guests because it's less work for us. Until next time, I'm Casey Hansen. With me, as always, is Nick Doling and Jeremy Van Klompenberg.
Au revoir.
Sorry, hey, things have fallen.